Hello and welcome to this video in which we explain how to do all the steps needed to format your Word text given in the lab number 1 of the Introduction to Engineering course. So after downloading the zip file, normally you should have two files, one PDF that shows you the formatted text, how it should look like, so you can get inspired from it. You can get a look at it to see how your final document should look like. And you also should have another file that is called draw text.docx or .doc, which means Word document. You can open it in Microsoft Word, and you can go to the end of the file to see the list of to-dos. And this text, this raw text, should be formatted by you to give exactly the same formatted text that you see to the right. As you may have already noticed, to ease my task, I'm docking my windows to the right and to the left by dragging the title bar and hitting the sides of my screen. In this way I can apply the changes in this document and check the result in real time. So let's check the to-do list. So the overview will be given in class, and you should know the basic text formatting tricks. This should be also explained in the class. I'm going to start with the third item, which is to create the header and the footer of the page. Actually, the headers and the footers are those zones that repeat on every single page. There are part of them that are fixed, and there are some automated parts, such as the page number, that changes automatically on all the other pages. So imagine that we have this text here and that we want to make it appear on all the pages. It's quite simple. We can add it in the header zone. The text exists here, and then we have to copy it and to add it to the header zone here. First, let me tell you how to display or hide these weird symbols that denote the existence of an enter, or the existence of a tabulation, or even the existence of certain spaces in your document. So this button here called show hide non-printable text, if I click on it, these symbols will disappear. If I click on it again, they will reappear. So I can click on it for the moment, and I will show you two different ways to insert footers. Either you can hit insert and pick up header or footer, or you can simply double click in the zone here in the margin of your page, gray zone here. Okay, so it denotes the margin. You can either click in the footer margin or in the header margin, double click on it, and then you can paste your text. So I'm gonna select my text first. I'm gonna cut it with Ctrl X and then paste it here. In the final document, you may notice that my text has no extra spaces between these three lines, and in addition it is centered. So for this reason, I'm going to select my text. I'm going to go to home. I'm going to go to the paragraph settings here, and from line and paragraph spacing, I'm going to remove the space after the paragraph. This will collapse the three lines with no extra spaces between them, and then with the alignment here, I'm gonna center them. I could hit actually Ctrl E to do it. I'm gonna exit the header zone, and I'm going to take care of the rest of the document, actually the footer. So while editing the header, you may notice that we have a header and footer tool here. I can click on this button to go to the footer, or simply scroll down and click here. It will notice, Word will notice that I'm in the footer automatically. Here I have to add a page number. The page number format is this very nice predefined format. Usually you can add the page number with plenty of different possibilities. I'm going to add the current position, and I'm going to use this predefined style called accent bar 2. Once inserted, the page number will be incremented automatically on all the pages. Actually, if I select or simply if I go back with the left arrow on my keyboard, I will notice that this field here, this text here has a gray background, as if it is an automated field. It's not a normal text. And actually, Microsoft Word takes care of incrementing these numbers automatically. I'm going to go a little bit faster on the other points, since the explanation will be given to you in the class. So let's check how we can add subscript and superscript. I think mainly for the formula parts, such as this formula here. I'm going to search my formula. It's right there. So I'm going to select the text, and I'm going to go to these buttons here to pick up superscript. I can also use the shortcut, which is Ctrl Shift and the plus. The formula is centered, so I'm gonna hit Ctrl E to put it centered. We also need subscripts and superscripts for these zones here. So Ctrl Shift plus for the sign here, for the square sign there, and Ctrl equal sign for the subscripts, for Ctrl equal for 2 here, x1 and x2, Ctrl equal, and then also Ctrl equal. Equally, I could click on this button here to make it subscript. I also have a formula up there so that I can change it. Ctrl Shift plus, and I can make it centered with Ctrl E. The other two formulas here will be typed with the formula editor or equation editor, and which is required in the next bullet. So to have full access to it, please go to Insert and pick up here from Equation. But first, make sure where your cursor is. Currently, my cursor is blinking here. Actually, I need to go to Formulas, go here, Zone, hit Delete, and then start typing my equations. So I could insert predefined equations, or simply insert a new equation using the editor from here. You notice that the formula editor is quite rich, and it has everything almost we need to type mathematical formulas. Let's double check once again the required formula. It's x1 equal to minus b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the logic here is that I have an equality, so I can start typing the inequality here, I can type x, and then so here we have subscripts and superscripts in this way. So sorry, I can actually remove the x from here. I can type x there and type 1 here. And after the equal sign, the main component of my equation is a fraction. So I have something over something else. So before delving into the details, I'm gonna ask where to insert a fraction for me. I'm gonna click on the equation tools here, and then I'm gonna select a simple fraction. In the first, I'm gonna fill in the second part first, which is 2a. It's quite easy. I'm gonna type 2a, and then I'm gonna get back to the first part and type minus b plus the square root. And here I can access the radicals. I have a simple square root. I don't need a like a cubic root or whatever. By the way, this is a common radical, so I could insert it from here. So I'm going to use it in the next step, but let us create it from scratch. So it's b squared minus 4ac. For b squared, I'm going to use a I'm going to use a superscript, type b2, and then I can add minus 4ac. So this is the first equation. The second equation, I'm going to add it in the same way, almost, except that I'm going to use subscript, x2 equal to, you notice that I'm proceeding slightly in a different way, and then from the radical here, you see here this predefined formula. I'm going to use it to put this formula here. I'm going to remove just the plus sign and add a minus sign instead of that. It seems that my minus sign is slightly different. I'm gonna check if I can have, yes, this long dash. The same goes here. I'm gonna use the minus sign. I'm gonna use the minus sign for that part of the equation. So now I have a very pretty output that looks exactly like this one here. What about the next part? The tab stops. Tab stops will be explained to you in the class. If I click on show hide non-printable characters, tabulations are already made on these 3 lines. All that I need to do is to create the tab stop by clicking on the bar here. But actually it's preferred to select all the concerned lines and to click on the right position to create the tab at once. In this case, all the 3 lines will be indented and aligned correctly. So this is how you can do it, and if there is anything that goes wrong with you, for example, the exact place of the tab, you can double click on it once again. So to access the tabs, you can double click on this paragraph symbol here, and then or simply you can pop up from home, you can pop up the paragraph menu and access the tabs window from this button here, and then you can set the tab stop at whatever position you want, left, center, or right, and with the exact position as you design. Let's take care of the next item, which is the styles. So actually we will have to apply certain predefined styles and to create other ones. So first we are gonna start with certain character styles. As you notice in this part here, we have an emphasized line, an emphasis style, and then here we have another emphasis style, which is a strong bold font style. So to access the predefined styles, we may look them up from this window here, or simply click on this shortcut button here. To apply a character style, we need to select the concerned text, for instance that one here, and then we can pick up the emphasis style to make it emphasized. When it comes to the strong style, I want to select these 2 words, separate words. You can do it in whatever part of your document by using the control key from your keyboard, and then you pick up the strong character style. So here we applied already 2 different styles to these lines. What we should also do is to apply the heading 1 style, predefined style on these lines, and the heading 2 style on such lines. However, these styles will be also numbered afterwards. So this is why it's preferred to create your own styles that will inherit heading 1, and then that they will have their own numbering style. So let's do it. I'm gonna apply heading 1 here, but then I'm gonna create a new style using this button here, new style. I'm gonna give it a name. Let's call it section style, since I have simply sections and subsections. I'm gonna pick up the style type paragraph. It's based on heading 1. The style for the following paragraph, I'm gonna switch it to normal, because once I designate a certain title as a section title, when I'm gonna hit enter, I want the text to go back to normal, so that I can type normal text after it. For the moment, I'm gonna just inherit heading 1. I don't want to add any extra formatting. I can change it later on. I'm gonna say OK. A new style called section will be created for me. It is by default applied on this line. I'm going to use the same trick to apply it on this line here. So I'm going to just put the cursor on that line and click on the style name, and I'm going to do it for the third line, that is pivot table. So the fourth one is to do, and I'm settled. Everything is fine. Let's do it now for the heading 2. I'm going to apply heading 2 on this line, and then I'm going to create a new style called subsection. I'm going to make sure it says paragraph style. It's based on heading 2, and the following style is normal. I'm going to hit OK without changing anything else. I'm going to select these 3 lines here. I'm going to hit subsection to apply it on those 3 different lines. Now it comes the very important phase, which is the multi-level list. So in the to-do, after creating and applying the styles, we have to add the multi-level list. But maybe first we can add a automatic table of content, automatically generated, right after defining those styles. So as you may notice here, we have this very nicely looking table of content. We can add it from references, table of contents, and let's add the first one, if you want to do exactly like the document or the automatic table 2, with a very nice title table of contents and all the titles in there. Okay, so here it's yet another grade text, which means it's an automated field that is automatically managed by Word. So the next very important part is how to define a multi-level list to define the numbering for these titles, especially that the numbers here, as you may notice, are interrelated. So a subsection within section X, they are numbered X.1, X.2, and so on and so forth. So to define a multi-level list, we have to go to the home screen. From the paragraph submenu, we can click on this button here. It's not bullets, it's not numbering, it's a multi-level list. And then we can click on define a new multi-level list. We click on it. Very important to click on the more button, because here you just define the numbering style that you want, but there you can link it to a specific style. This is exactly what we want. So the numbering can be defined on multi-levels, hence the name. On the first level, we want to use the simple numbering 1. We don't have dashes, we don't have anything, so it's a very pure number. We can just add 1 space after it, and we want to link it to the section style. So we can select section from here. Then we can go to the next level. We're going to select the same numbering format, which is the Arabic numbers. These are the Arabic numbers. However, the numbers used in Arabic are the Hindi number. Okay, so we're going to use the Arabic numbers that are used in Latin, languages, such as the English. However, so we're gonna link it to the subsection. However, as you may notice, we have for each subsection number a section number preceding it. So to this end, we are gonna go to the beginning of the line with the home button, or simply by clicking there, or also by navigating with the arrows. We're gonna include the level number from level 1, and then we are gonna add a dot between the two numbers. So now we are settled. It's linked to subsection. We're gonna double check. The first level is linked to section. The second level is numbered parent level or level 1 number followed by the section number, subsection number, and it's linked to subsection. I'm gonna say OK, and at that specific moment, you may notice that all your titles are automatically numbered, except that I have a tiny problem here. I have a side effect, a style heading section applied here. I'm gonna just clear the formatting on that specific line. My other titles will be automatically renumbered correctly. All that I need to do now is to update my table of content, my entire table of content, and then the numbers will appear there. This is a very important task in your document, so please repeat it as much as needed to perfection it. All that we still need to do is to format these 3 lines here in the right way. This is a format without a manual format, without going through styles. So I'm gonna center them. I'm gonna remove the space after the paragraphs so that they collate together, and then I'm gonna make them bold, and that's it. Now my document looks exactly like the given document. If you have such slight differences, for example, this line is going up here, it's not a big deal. Usually it's not graded. And in fact, the reason is that we have some extra spaces here between the formulas. So you can either add them manually if you notice them. Otherwise, in this case, the other text will jump to the next page. Otherwise, it's completely fine, because you will be graded on the various visible, noticeable tasks, main tasks that are required in your file. Maybe one last point is to make this list bullet. I'm gonna keep the cover page and to the instructor so that he can explain it. It's just one click, and then you will be fine with it. I'm noticing that I have also this tiny text here that is not written, so I'm gonna copy it and paste it here, and then everything will be fine. That's it. Thank you for following up.